OK, back home, let's cross directly to the campaign trail. Both Trudy McIntosh and Andrea Crothers are in Sydney tonight for the second Leaders' Debate. Trudy, I'll start with you, if I may. Tell us about the format of tonight's debate. It's very different to what we saw here at Sky News initially, right?
There won't be an undecided voter in sight at tonight's second Leaders' Debate. Instead, this is going to be a panel of 3 journalists quizzing Australia's 2 political leaders. Now, there's a few interesting parts to this. They're also going to have a segment where Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese can ask questions of one another. Now, that would have been an interesting behind the scenes if you were in these strategy meetings with the 2 leaders. Are they going to go for the jugular tonight when they have their chance to question the other? Or are they going to use this as an opportunity for a curly policy question? Another rule they're going to try and enforce, but good luck tonight, is a 60 seconds maximum on each question. And then also a really interesting one that's been introduced here is no notes. You can't bring your notes to tonight's debate. That's a pretty interesting decision in the wake of what we saw just a few days back with Anthony Albanese walking off from the press pack to get a binder full of notes to bring back so he could read out his 6-point plan on the NDIS. We'll see whether he struggles again. And how have the leaders been preparing today for this debate? Well, it looks like Scott Morrison's been pretty busy flying in this afternoon here to Sydney, but a different pace again for Anthony Albanese. Just one job this morning. He visited a local market in the Liberal-held seat of Bennelong. He's then spent the afternoon away from the cameras in what I can assume would be crucial preparation time. Preparation and maybe even a nap. Thank you for that, Trudy. Andrea, you've been with the Prime Minister today, and the religious discrimination bill is back in the spotlight, right?
Chris, this one's back in focus because today we saw Scott Morrison doubling down on those plans to revive the controversial bill if he's re-elected, but to do so separately to protections for gay students. So we do know that this was a key election issue in 2019. The Prime Minister made a promise to put in these extra protections for religious faith. But it was during the time that he tried to get this through the Parliament earlier this year that it was eventually torpedoed because 5 Liberal moderates decided to cross the floor, backing a move to try and introduce these new protections for gay students. So Scott Morrison, he says if he is returned to power, he would like to put them through one at a time, but he won't provide a clear timeline as to when those protections for gay students would come through. He denies he's abandoning gay students, but also facing some questions really about whether there would be a different outcome this time around if the numbers are similar to what they are currently. Those MPs who crossed the floor, do you believe they've suddenly changed their mind on that issue, or have you already written off their seats?
Well, no, the issues that they were addressing were not related to the Religious Discrimination Act. They were related to the Sexual Discrimination Act, and we should be able to pursue those. No, we should be able to pursue them sequentially as we set out. I don't give up on these things.
Now, those 5 Liberal moderates, their seats are all under threat. I spoke to one of them, Bridget Archer, today. She says that her opinion hasn't changed, indicating she'd likely cross the floor if it came to a similar vote. Liberal MP Katie Allen, she was at that state rally in Victoria today, and she says her mind hasn't changed either. Have you changed your mind on protections for gay students?
No.
What do you make then of the Prime Minister's decision to keep them as separate pieces of legislation then when it comes to religious discrimination?
Focusing on holding my seat in Higgins and winning in the election, and then we'll get to the other side.
But this was an important issue to you. Would you cross the floor again?
My position is unchanged. I will always protect gay and trans students.
They don't need to have that debate so late in this campaign. We'll see how it plays out. Andrea Crothers, thank you for your time.